Welcome to the Grow Rich podcast by Tech Help Canada, where we share the best online marketing and general business tips. Now for today's host.
Note, this includes AI-generated narration. Your next website visitor might not be a person, and Microsoft just built the system to make it happen. On June 2nd, 2026, they announced something called WebIQ. Not another chatbot feature, not a Bing redesign. An entire search system built specifically for AI agents. When someone asks Copilot, ChatGPT, or another AI tool a question, that tool often needs to search the web for information. It pulls evidence, compares sources, and stitches together an answer. WebIQ is the infrastructure Microsoft built to make that process faster, more accurate, and more reliable. Traditional Bing gives humans a list of search results. WebIQ gives AI agents the specific passages, structured evidence, and fresh context they need to build an answer. It skips the "here are 10 blue links" step entirely and goes straight to "here's the useful information from across the web." And this isn't theoretical. Microsoft says the application programming interfaces in WebIQ already power grounding experiences for Microsoft Copilot and ChatGPT. So when those AI tools go looking for web-based information to answer your question, this is part of the plumbing behind it. If you run a business or a website, this changes what being found online actually means. For years, the game was straightforward. Optimize your pages so people could find them on Google or Bing. Someone types a query, sees your listing, clicks through, and reads your page. That still happens. But there's now a second layer of search happening underneath it. AI agents are retrieving information from the web before a human ever sees a search results page. Your website might influence someone's buying decision inside an AI-generated answer without them ever clicking through to your site. That's a different kind of visibility than what most businesses have been optimizing for. Here's how WebIQ works. Microsoft built it on top of the existing Bing Global Index, so the same pool of web content that Bing already crawls. But the architecture is redesigned around how agents work. A person searches once and picks a result. An agent might search 5, 10, 20 times in a row. It retrieves information, evaluates it, adjusts the query, searches again, and keeps going until it has enough context to build a confident answer. That pattern demands speed. Microsoft says WebIQ responds in under 165 milliseconds at the 95th percentile, which in their internal testing was nearly 2.5 times faster than the next closest competitor they benchmarked. Those numbers will shift over time as competitors catch up, but the direction is clear. Microsoft isn't treating this as an add-on. They're building dedicated infrastructure for agent-driven search. So what does this mean for your website specifically? AI agents don't experience your site the way a person does. They don't see your logo, your color scheme, or the clever headline you spend an afternoon writing. They're scanning for evidence, clear answers, specific data, named entities, structured information, and signals that your page is trustworthy enough to cite. If the most useful information on your page is buried under 3 paragraphs of warm-up text, or hidden behind vague headings, or wrapped in marketing language that sounds good but says nothing specific, an agent will likely skip your page and pull from a competitor whose content is clearer. That doesn't mean design stops mattering. Humans still visit websites, judge credibility visually, and make decisions based on how a page looks and feels. But you now have 2 audiences for every page: people who read and systems that retrieve. The businesses that serve both will have an advantage over those optimizing for only one. So how do you know if this is happening to your site? That's been the hard part, until recently. Earlier in 2026, Microsoft added AI performance reporting to Bing Webmaster tools. This gives site owners something they haven't had before: actual data on how their content appears across Microsoft Copilot, AI-generated summaries in Bing, and selected partner integrations. The dashboard shows which of your pages are being cited in AI answers, which queries triggered those citations, and how the trend is moving over time. One important distinction, though: this isn't a ranking report. Citation data doesn't tell you how prominent your page was within a specific AI answer or how it compared to other sources in that response. It tells you whether your content is participating in AI-generated answers at all. That's still useful information, but read it for what it is rather than treating it like a traditional keyword position tracker. So how do you actually make your pages easier for AI agents to use? Most of the work overlaps with what already makes content effective. Start by making the answer obvious. Every important page on your site should quickly explain what it's about, who it helps, and what problem it solves. If an agent, or a person for that matter, has to dig through filler before finding the useful part, you've already lost ground to a competitor whose page gets to the point faster. Use headings that actually describe the information underneath them. Pricing factors tells a reader and an agent what's coming. Things to consider could mean anything. How long does implementation take is something an agent can match directly to a query. Getting started is not. Back up meaningful claims with evidence. Microsoft specifically calls out examples, data, and cited sources as trust signals for AI-generated answers. If your page makes a comparison, explains a process, or gives advice, show the reasoning. Show the data. Reference where the information comes from. Keep high-value pages current. AI systems that depend on fresh information will favor sources that are clearly maintained. For fast-moving topics, review quarterly at minimum. For stable service pages, twice a year is usually enough to catch outdated statistics, stale language, and broken references. Use structure where it actually helps. Clear headings, tables, FAQ sections, schema markup, and consistent naming all make a page easier for machines to parse. But don't add structure just for the sake of it. Add it where it makes the meaning of your content clearer. And if your site changes often, look into Index Now. It's a protocol that notifies participating search engines, including Bing, when content is added, updated, or removed. For AI answers that depend on current information, faster discovery can help make sure systems are working from the latest version of your page, not the outdated one. But here's what this doesn't mean. This doesn't mean traditional SEO is dead. It doesn't mean every website needs to become a technical encyclopedia. It doesn't mean you should stuff your pages with artificial Q&A sections and schema markup just to look machine readable. It means the web has a new kind of searcher, and that searcher is a piece of software acting on behalf of a person. People still search directly, they still click links, they still judge your site on design, tone, and credibility. But AI agents are also retrieving information behind the scenes before a user ever reaches your page. The smart move isn't to pick one audience over the other, it's to make your best pages work for both. Write clearly enough for a person to trust you, structure the page well enough for a machine to identify the useful parts, keep facts fresh enough that both audiences can rely on what they find. So here's what to do right now. First, get into Bing Webmaster Tools. Verify your site if you haven't already, then check whether the AI Performance Report is available for your property. Look at which URLs are being cited, what grounding queries are pulling your content, and how the trends are moving. Second, audit your 5 most commercially important pages. These are usually your service pages, product pages, pricing pages, comparison pages, or high-intent educational content. For each one, ask yourself 4 questions. Does the page answer the main question clearly near the top? Does it include specific evidence, examples, or data? Are the headings descriptive enough for someone, or something, to quickly understand the page? And is the information current, accurate, and consistent with the rest of your web presence? Third, test your visibility manually. Ask Copilot, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini the kinds of questions a customer would ask before buying from you. Search by problem, by category, by location, and by comparison. Don't just search your brand name. Search the way a stranger would. If your business doesn't show up, don't assume the AI is wrong. Your page may not be clear enough, specific enough, trusted enough, or current enough to be useful as a source. That's fixable, but you have to know what's happening first. Here's the bottom line. Search is splitting into layers. Humans still search. AI tools now answer. Agents increasingly retrieve the evidence behind those answers. Your website needs to work across all 3 of those contexts. That doesn't require a panic-driven overhaul. It requires clearer pages, stronger evidence, fresher information, and a new habit of measuring whether AI systems are actually citing you. If you need help with this, you can contact us at Tech Help Canada for a website audit. A link is in the description. The businesses that adjust early won't just rank better in traditional search. They'll be easier for agents to trust, cite, and bring into the conversation when a customer is making a decision. And that might matter more than a click. This was based on an article from our blog. You can find the full written article on Tech Help Canada, including sources and visuals. If you found this helpful, you can explore more on our website and subscribe or become a member for updates and perks. If you're watching or listening to this on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or another platform, don't forget to like and subscribe to help us keep bringing you valuable content like this.